Hello and welcome to episode 2 of season 2 of The Story Pilgrim. Abi Pattenden. I'm probably going to have to stop saying all these seasons and stuff, but until you get used to it, I will carry on. Now, this is a really fun and interesting episode. Abi is a friend of mine. She's a funeral director and an actor. We talk about things that we don't normally talk about. Death. I mean, she's surrounded by it. It's really interesting. Before we dive in, please make sure that you are following this podcast, and if you can share it with just one person, please, it would make all the difference. Now, we're only on episode 2, as I keep referring to it, but just to remind you, I am starting off all of these conversations with 4 questions. Who are you? What do you do? Where are we? And why? I put these to Abi. Let's dive in.
So my name's Abi Pattenden. I'm a funeral director and we are on the pathway up to Hamsey Old Church, which is in a place just outside Lewes. And we are here because this is a place that I remember from being younger. It's kind of associated with why I've become a funeral director, although I didn't realise that at the time. So my grandparents are buried in this churchyard, and you can also see the house that I grew up in from here.
That's amazing. And it is a stunning church, isn't it?
It's beautiful, isn't it? Really lovely.
Norman, would you say?
I think it probably, I don't know loads about architecture, but I think it probably is Norman. It's got that kind of sort of like pointy, square then pointy bit. Yeah,
the square bit is the Norman giveaway. Yeah. Rather than like having a spire.
Yes.
So it looks definitely
crenellated.
Looks Norman.
There you go.
Where'd you get that word from?
I don't know. Those are called crenellations. Like a castle, the up and downy bits.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay. Well then, that's my lesson for the day.
Super.
Crenellated.
Yeah.
I like that word.
You're
okay.
welcome.
Right. So you said that you're a funeral director, but you're not just a funeral director, are you?
So no, not really. So I manage a funeral business and a monumental masonry business day to day on behalf of the people that own it. I'm also an actor and a bit of everything, really.
Which comes first?
Well, I mean, funerals is my full-time job and it's what pays the bills, sadly. I wish I had earned enough money in acting to be a professional actor, but obviously none of us do that, do we? So,
well, there's a few, a very, very select few, isn't there?
If we go up here, we'll go down that way.
Yeah, okay. All right, so we're at the entrance to the church.
The church is open.
It is beautiful.
It is lovely, so we could
go in there. The church is open, so we'll go in a bit.
Yeah, because I think last time I was here, I think there was an information leaflet about the church.
Yeah, there's a little information bit there. There's a QR code in good modern history.
That's very modern, isn't it?
Yeah. All right, so we're inside.
Yeah.
And we're going to go, let's wander through the graveyard. Okay.
Yeah,
right.
so...
Yeah, so did the acting come first or did the funeral directing come first?
So I've been acting for mostly as long as I can remember, really. But I did have a big hiatus of about 18 years, give or take.
Okay.
Maybe a bit longer, where I completely stopped and then started again about 5 years ago. But I trained as an actor. Well, I studied drama at university and I tried to be a professional actor for a bit, but it didn't really work out.
So the reason why we're here is because you grew up in this area.
So I grew up, the trees are too high, but over there is the estate where I grew up, and from my house, so from my parents' bedroom window and from our spare bedroom, you could see this church.
Yeah. Now I should say, because you've got a very wonderful RP accent. When you say estate, we're not talking about a manor house with
no
acres, are we?
Absolutely, quite the opposite. Literally the roughest place in Lewes, which is the town that I grew up in.
Council estate. What's the?
It's called Lamport. Yeah, it's a council estate. So my parents lived in. Bought the council house when they could, right to buy. Thanks that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And that's where I grew up, and I lived there until I was 21.
Okay.
Went away to uni, came back, and my mum and dad moved to a different place while I was in my second year at university, which was hilarious. So I came back to a new house. But they did.
Good.
But I did come back to a house that I had never lived in, so that was a bit weird.
Right.
And I think,
siblings?
No, gosh no,
No.
only me.
Okay.
I think this clean one down here, I paid for my colleague to come and clean my grandparents' headstone.
Okay.
And if it's lasted well, this might be it, but it's marble. Marble deteriorates quickly.
Does it?
Yeah.
Well, that's because it's
Porous.
But that's like that's the one that
Gosh,
everybody
very cool.
goes for, isn't it?
Yeah,
Isn't it?
used to be. Yeah, here you go.
Wow.
So this is my granddad, who was 51 when he died in 1958.
What an amazing name.
Aryan, Welsh, yeah.
Yeah.
And my this is my grandma, who died in 1984. So I was 4, nearly 5 when she died.
Olive Irene Morgan.
That's right.
Yeah.
Aryan Morgan.
Yeah.
So they had 7 children. My dad was the 6th of 7 children, and that house that we drove in past on the way here was tied to the railway, which was where my granddad worked, and he died obviously very young.
Yeah.
But they still had they were allowed to keep the cottage, so it was where my dad would have been 1958. So my dad would have been 21 when his dad died.
Wow.
But they weren't talking to each other at the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, my grandma moved out of that house in about 1982, 83.
Right.
They wouldn't let her live in it anymore because it was in such a rundown state. It had no heating, single glazing, outside loo, obviously very dangerous for an old lady by herself. And they put her in a little bungalow in Burgess Hill, and she was dead within a couple of years. She hated it.
Right. Oh, wow.
Yeah, and
Wow.
then, so one of the reasons that I think that I'm a funeral director is when she died, so as I say, I was 4, nearly 5,
Yeah.
I understood what her being ill meant. She'd had a stroke, I think. I understood what her being dead meant, and my mum and dad wouldn't let me come to the funeral, and it
Right.
really annoyed me.
At that young age.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Were you close to her?
No, not really.
Okay.
I think it just irritated me.
Okay.
I think you've got to bear in mind that I was the baby of a family and the baby of a family.
Yeah.
So I was the youngest. I was probably a bit of a spoiled brat, although not financially because we didn't have any money. But I think I was just used to getting my own way, and it really irritated me.
Right.
I had to stay at home with my other grandparents, and I found it really annoying.
So moving that into, is that just then sparked the interest in a funeral, and then going, hang on a minute, I want to know what happens there?
Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
Because I think it seemed like it was something that was like important.
Yeah.
You're never sure where to stand, are you?
I know, this is it. I always feel weird when I'm in grave, because it's like, I felt like for quite a bit of that time that I was stood on that grave, and that's a bit disrespectful, isn't it? But there's no headstone on it, so there might not be anything in it. But then there are holes.
Yeah, there's no way of knowing, I suppose.
Yeah. Okay.
If there is a person in there, they won't mind. Don't worry.
They won't.
So that is the stone for the next grave over. So this one, if there is, so there may be one here.
Maybe.
There's like a little vase here, so maybe you were, but they won't mind.
They won't be.
Honestly.
But there's headstones over there for like 6 years old, 2019.
Yeah.
Look, so they're still, well, maybe they're not burying
There is still a
people.
teeny little bit of space here, isn't there, in that corner perhaps?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
There are some churchyards where you can still be buried. Near where I work, there's a couple as well.
It's fascinating to me that, like, this looks pretty full, doesn't it?
Mm.
But there's still, so like with 2019, there's these war graves or graves over here of war graves.
That's
which
right. Yeah.
look like they've been looked after quite well.
Yeah.
But
yeah, the war graves, people come and clean them and things.
So that's not family doing that. That's probably
no. Although their family could, there's no reason why not. But I think the war graves people keep an eye on them.
Yeah.
Certainly they do in cemeteries. Usually in a cemetery you have like a particular area.
Yeah.
And they sort of come and keep an eye on it.
They'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this looks so good, as I say, because Richard, who is my colleague who works for the Monumental Masonry Company that I run, came and cleaned this all for me.
That's really good. But it's like, there's so many questions. So let's go back. Okay. So you have that seed planted at 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah.
then what's that journey to... At school, when you had careers fair, were they like, what do you want to be? And you were like, I want to be a funeral director.
No, not at all, because I never knew what I wanted to do at all. Well, because I wanted to be an actor.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be a doctor, but I wasn't good enough at science.
Okay.
So I wanted to be an actor.
Yeah.
And everyone always said, as I think is the case for anyone who is probably any bossy female of my generation, everyone just always said, oh, be a teacher. And I think everyone just assumed that I would be a teacher.
Right.
Probably.
Yeah.
So no, not at all. And it was nothing that I'd ever thought about doing at all, nothing that I'd ever thought about pursuing. I think I had the misconception that it was something that were family businesses.
That's
and
what
I think the thing is, that doesn't make any sense, because obviously you're not going to have a family big enough to do everything. So I never really thought about it at all.
But I think that is a general consensus, though, isn't it?
Probably.
Is that I would have thought that. I would have said, oh, it's... Most of the funeral directors that I see are families.
Mm.
You know, it seems they give that appearance of being family.
Mm.
It's interesting.
This is beautiful.
Yeah. We're looking at 2 gravestones of Elizabeth Mary Betty Fuchs and Belinda Mary Shukanek, I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah, look, she was 100.
So that's the daughter of Betty Fuchs.
That's right.
But what's the symbols on the top?
I don't know. That looks a bit like a pen. That's a starfish,
It's
isn't
a starfish. Is that? It's weird, though, isn't it?
Like an old-fashioned, like a quill.
Yeah, and it's got something about Austria-Hungary at the bottom of Pavaruska. Okay, very interesting.
So they're a slate headstone. That would have all been hand-carved by someone.
Right. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's beautiful, isn't it? A lot of craftsmanship in something like that.
Yeah. So, I'm personally, I don't want to be buried.
No, nor do I.
Because it's I'm kind of like saying, you still got to look after me.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
And I'm like, look, I'm gone.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like people would then go like, there's a lot of room here that's been taken up by people that are no longer here.
Yeah,
and the people that are alive would feel, well, maybe they don't. They feel like, oh, I need to come and look after it.
Well, for some people it's a cultural thing to come and look after it, like particularly Italian Catholic people. A lot of them have a real need to like come and clean and maintain it. But in some cultures, I mean, there's some people that I think, is it in Japan, there's a day where you actually go and spend the whole day at your ancestors' graves.
Right.
And it's
okay.
You clean them, but you also like have like a party. You take food and like sing and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Have a picnic.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of cultural peculiarity goes into it that perhaps you don't even know that you've got. But I don't want to be buried either. Yeah. But I can't really tell you why. I just know that I don't.
Yeah.
Strange, isn't it?
It is weird, isn't it? So you went to university. I'm going to jump around. It is beautiful here, isn't it?
It is really beautiful.
It's really lovely.
Really lovely.
How do you think, like, growing up in an area like this shaped you?
Well, considering I lived in a town, I had quite a rural childhood. So we used to walk, me and my dad used to walk out here. So you can just see the tops of the houses over there. Yeah. Yeah, I lived over there. Okay. And so we used to walk out along the main road. Yeah. To visit my grandma. Yeah. Maybe even a couple of times a week when I would have obviously been really little. Yeah. And
that is, I take it that's a quarry.
Yeah, so that's the old quarry. It's called the Chalk Pit. Okay. Yeah.
Would you go up there and play?
No, but the hills, that's part of the same hills that are behind the school that I went to, and so we used to go up onto the hills and play.
And this is part of the South Downs?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Going across?
Yeah, because it's very hilly here, because you've got Ditching Beacon and Fell Beacon, which are part of that chain of beacons. Yep. That go all the way along the south coast. Yeah. Yeah, well, I still think it was nice because it's rural, so you've got the countryside. Yeah. But I still think, obviously I'm still in a similar area now, and it's ideal in a lot of ways because you've got the sea, you've got the countryside. Yeah, you've got a town if you want one.
Well, that's it, isn't it? Yeah, and then you can shoot up to London if you really want to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right, shall we go in the church?
Yeah, let's.
Have a look. it's very light, isn't it?
We used to, when they used to do it, they don't do it anymore. I used to come to carols by candlelight here.
Oh, I bet that's
just before
lovely.
Christmas, and it was really lovely. You had to bundle up really warm because obviously there's no heating.
No.
But it's beautiful, isn't it? Very sparse.
Yeah, it is. These are the type of churches that I like. Whereas it's on the inside, it looks like a ship, the wooden bit upside down ship. With the roof.
That's right. It does.
And then it's all one room, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, basically, the belfry goes all the way through to the altar.
Yeah, I mean, I assume there is a bell, but I don't think I've ever heard it ring.
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't look like... Oh, yeah, there is. Should we ring it?
Oh, God, no.
We get told off.
We might.
Yeah, there is this massive bell up there.
Yeah, I've never heard it ring.
Well, it looks like it could be. There's no sign there saying, please do not ring the bell.
That's true, there isn't, and it isn't early in the morning.
We won't ring the bell,
okay.
But I'm very tempted to. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not a cold day, but it's not that cold, is it?
It's lovely in here, though, isn't it?
It really is.
I did at one time try and persuade Dan that we should get married in here, but he really didn't want to get married in a church.
Oh.
And I mean, I'm not religious either. I just thought it'd be nice.
Yeah.
But it would be a bit of a trek for people, wouldn't it? It is
yeah,
quite
but it's
out
a
in
nice
the
trek, though.
Yeah,
You
it
get
is
some-
lovely.
Do they allow that?
I don't know, to be honest. I mean, I don't think they have services here anymore.
Right. Yeah, it's very clear. It's very crisp.
Yeah, it's just very plain, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always liked this church here. I do like a church, even though, as I say, I'm not religious myself. I do like a church building.
Yeah, I'll just take a picture. Ooh.
I could have just got out of the way and take some random bending.
It's lovely.
It is lovely.
Right, great. Okay, so university to study drama.
Yeah.
Was that what it was?
Yeah, so I did English and drama at university, and then, randomly, I did a master's degree in staging Shakespeare. Very useful.
Oh.
Use it every day.
Yeah. Yeah. Where was that at?
At
Was
Exeter.
That's a good. That's a
I
good
know.
one.
I was very lucky. I got. So I took a couple of years out before I went to uni because my mum and dad were very keen on me working.
Yeah.
So I took a couple of years out, and they. And so when I did go, I'd given up quite a good job to go.
What job was that?
So I worked in marketing. I was a marketing assistant.
Uh-huh.
And at that time, this is in the year 2000, I earned a grand total of £11,000 a year, which was quite a lot of money at that time.
Yeah.
And so I had to really be committed to making a go of it because I'd given up, growing up, the whole thing was that you've got to get a good job, earn money.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, tough luck. It'd be nice if you did, but tough luck. So I really had to, my parents were not supportive at all of me going to university.
Okay.
So, but I was really lucky because I did pretty well, and my lecturers at university supported me in getting funding to do my MA. So I actually got funded by what was the AHRB then.
Okay.
And they paid for my course fees and also a maintenance grant. So that is the 1 year since I was 18 that I hadn't worked enough to pay my full national insurance stamp that 1 year.
That's that 1 year.
Yeah. Because even at university, in the holidays, I always had a job.
Yeah.
The only time I've never had a job since I was 14, I think.
Yeah.
Is when I the first 6 weeks that I was at university in Winchester because I had to find a job.
Right. Okay.
And I did my MA. Tried to make a go of doing some acting stuff.
How did that happen? Did you move to London? Did you stay in?
No. I was just in a company with. So several of us formed a company.
Yeah. From Exeter.
from Exeter, from my course.
Yeah.
And we put on mostly Shakespeare type stuff, like quite a few bits and bobs. I developed something that then got taken to Edinburgh Fringe, for example, with others. But it just really, I mean, anyone who is older, who is an actor, will remember what it used to be like it's the real cliche that like your agent would phone you and send you to a room full of people that all looked exactly the same as you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So at that time I was like, 24-year-old blonde trying to get parts as like a ditz in a sitcom, that type of thing really, or theatre work, lot of theatre auditions and stuff like that. But I did think that things were just sort of starting to take off, and then my dad got really poorly and my parents were just like, no. I mean, they hadn't been very supportive anyway.
Right.
And I'd been kind of just supporting myself, but they were just like, no.
Yeah.
No more.
Okay.
And so I sort of just stopped, really.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Were you living at home?
Yeah.
Okay. And...
which was hard after uni as well.
Yeah, I was going to say. Was it like a hard stop, or just kind of
literally.
Peter?
Literally
Really?
just stopped
overnight. Okay. And then what was next?
Then I went and got so I was working part-time in Tesco's.
Yeah.
So Tesco's offered me a management job, which I took. Then I went and worked at Sainsbury's in a management job.
Okay.
Then I went and worked at EDF in a management job.
Okay. So where's the funeral come in?
How
did that happen?
I know, it's funny, isn't it? So I saw an advert. So I had a couple of friends. So in between the managing stuff, I'd done 6 months that I'd really hated in a marketing company.
Yeah.
But I saw a job advertised in the paper.
Yeah.
I was looking in the paper, not really for me, although I didn't like my job.
Yeah.
But for my friends who were from my old marketing company who were getting made redundant. And back in the day, obviously, different newspapers had different adverts in different places. So I was looking for them in my paper,
right,
and saw a job advertised for someone with management and marketing experience to run a funeral director.
Okay.
And I thought, well, I mean, clearly I'm not going to get that job, although it did say you didn't need any experience, but I thought clearly I'm never going to get that job. But it would be a good opportunity to push my CV up. If I got an interview, it would be probably quite rigorous, so it'd be good practice. Yeah. And I got the job, and I've been there 18 years.
So, Han, how old are you at this point?
So I was 28.
28 then. So if we go back to 4 or 5, between 4 or 5 and 28, how many funerals had you attended? That's a bit of a...
couple of aunties.
Yeah.
Grandma.
Can you remember
Granddad.
The first one?
Yeah, so I think my first funeral that I went to would have been my granddad.
Yeah.
I think I was 12. This is the other granddad.
Okay.
This is mum's dad.
Yeah.
So I think I would have been about 12. Yeah, that one.
Okay. Do you remember much about that?
No, not really.
No.
The first funeral that I really remember, my cousin, so part of Dad's branch of the family, because he was one of 7, there were hundreds
Big
of
family.
them. Yeah. And my cousin Lynn died when I was 16.
Okay.
And we had a church service for that. I remember that.
Yeah.
And I just remember it was really... I remember it was quite surreal because she'd been ill, so she'd had breast cancer, I think.
Yeah.
But she had sons, her son was the same age as me. He was in some of my classes at school.
Right.
And I just couldn't kind of compute that she was dead.
Yeah, sure.
And my mum was really, really upset. I remember my mum wailing.
Wow.
In rather a attention-seeking manner.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, it was so just various family, then a couple of friends. Stuart, who'd been my friend at work, died right around the time that I started my funeral job. So, but not hundreds by any means.
No. Okay, so none of all of that was kind of in your head when you were applying for this job?
No, not at all.
You were just like, okay, let's see what happens.
Yeah, I think it was only later that I realised
that you connected the dots.
Although it was always a joke in my family that the funeral industry would be a good industry to work in.
Really?
Well, because stability, you see.
Well, exactly. It ain't, there's the old adage, isn't there? There's only certain things that are actually going to happen in your life, and death is one of them.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So was that a huge learning curve for you? What did you know?
Nothing. I mean, I'd never seen a deceased person before.
Right. That was one of my questions that I was going to come to.
Because I hadn't, although other people in my family had visited people in the Chapel of Rest, I hadn't wanted to do that.
Sure.
I'd never been to a burial.
Yeah.
Because all the funerals that I'd been to were cremation.
Yeah.
So this side of the family is obviously buried.
Okay.
But everyone else has been cremated.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew how to manage people.
Yeah.
And I knew how to
you're very good
do
at that.
admin and run stuff and things.
Hello.
But yeah, I'd never.
So what was that experience like the first time you...
Well, so, I mean, I don't know if it's not the way that I would do things myself as someone who now recruits people to work in the company.
Yeah.
But we actually we had kind of a two-part thing. We had a day at the funeral directors, which sounds a bit funny really, like a day out.
Like
and
a careers day.
When we went there, and we spoke to various members of the team about the stuff that they did, and obviously they were keeping an eye on you and how you were like interacting with people.
Sure.
And part of that, I saw my first deceased person.
Right. Okay.
And also went to the crematorium and had a little visit to the crematorium.
Okay.
Which I loved. I was like, I like this a lot. And that was and I remember at the time it was quite annoying because I was like, I really want this job.
Wow.
But the other people, some of the other candidates was someone who worked there already, who ended up being a member of my team, obviously.
Right.
Awkward.
Yeah.
Then also a woman who had grown up in funerals and her family had just sold out their business and she was devastated. She wanted another job in funerals. And my boss gave me the job instead.
So what is that? Because you're really excited about it, as you're talking about it, and as we've talked about it before, you're really passionate about the whole thing. What is that?
I don't. So it's strange, isn't it? I think I'd always I did want to be a doctor.
Yeah.
I'd always wanted to help people.
Yeah.
But I'm actually probably wouldn't have been a very good doctor because I'm quite squeamish.
Right.
And I'm quite...
You're quite squeamish, but on average, how many dead bodies are you seeing in a week?
Oh, I mean, depending what I'm doing. Well, we've got cold storage in the office that I work in for 50 people.
Right.
So quite a few.
If you you're not going to, are you? But if you wanted to, you could just have a look.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But they are there, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, you might have a purpose to do it though. So, for example, I had a gentleman the other day whose family wanted to put a photo with him.
Right.
So I did that.
So you just...
Or you might have to take off some jewellery or...
Right.
Or sometimes sometimes family might say, can you have a look at mum and tell us if they can't decide if they want to come and see her or not, for example.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Isn't that weird?
I don't know, is it? Well, I guess not to me, but maybe to you. Perhaps
it would kind of... I've only had the experience of seeing one person that's passed away, and that was my brother-in-law who took his own life.
Yeah, that's
and that
sad.
was quite traumatic for both myself and my sister.
Yeah, of course.
To have to go in and identify him because he hadn't been, what's the word, cleaned up.
No, that's right, prepared. Yeah.
So for me, I sort of kind of just took one look, realised it was him, and then I didn't want to look again.
No.
And my sister was like, is it him? I'm like, yeah. And then we were out.
But I think you do have to remember that it's different with people that you know.
Yeah, sure.
So when my dad died, I didn't want to see my dad.
Right.
And my mum basically made me. And I wasn't regretful that I had, but I'd have been fine with not.
Yeah.
When my father-in-law died, no one wanted to see him. Yeah. And I just wanted to have a little look to check that he was... okay, in case anyone asked.
Sure.
But it's very different with people that you don't know, because the thing is, part of, I suppose, seeing someone when they've died is that you're deriving a comparison. Yeah. And obviously, if you don't know them when they're alive,
then you
can't do that.
Nothing to go. Okay.
I mean, you do sometimes do funerals for people that you've met who aren't family. I mean, I've arranged funerals for example, a gentleman, and then the wife has died later, or vice versa.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That makes
but
sense.
no, I think the thing is that
Is that just something that you've learned over the years?
how to deal with.
Yeah.
I've never really had an issue with it.
Okay.
I mean, you do obviously see people in a wide spectrum of conditions and things,
of course.
and some people are not necessarily that pleasant to look at.
Yeah.
But I think the thing is that we've got so many misconceptions in our mind, and there's so much media these days, you can turn on a horror film and see, not that I would because I don't like them, and see worse things than you would ever have seen at my work.
Sure. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, imagination's a really powerful thing.
It really is. Yeah, because that's all I have to go on is
Yeah.
like what your work is like.
Yeah.
I can only imagine it.
Yeah.
So, wow. So a couple of sort of questions. To you? Well, let's just go for it. What's the sweetest memory?
I had a family, and their little girl died,
Mm-hmm.
and she was 4, and it was really sad. But they had always known that she was going to die. She was born with a congenital heart defect,
Right.
which was really sad as well because they'd gone through like a ton of IVF to have her, and it was really sad.
Yeah.
But it just so happened,
Turn around and
Yeah.
go back. Yeah.
it just so happened that so they'd rung up when they'd been given like a really poor prognosis for her.
Yeah.
They'd rung up and spoke to me on the phone to get some advice about things, and
Yeah.
I'd been able to help them at the time, and it just so happened that I was the person who picked up the phone when she died. So I went out to collect her from home with a colleague. I arranged all the funeral with them. I was there on the day for them. I did everything for them from start to finish.
Yeah.
And things like making the order of service that you do for a family.
Yeah.
So like you really get invested in it, and although it sounds random to say that it was sweet, because obviously it's very, very, very sad,
Sure.
but
Yeah.
it was such a, like, it was, I just remember that the funeral was massive and everyone wore pink because it was her favourite colour, and she had a pink princess coffin, and it was sweet in a sad way, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like I'm quite melancholy as a person, not because of the job, I don't think, but just because of what I'm like.
Sure.
And it was touching, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah.
And being able to help them.
Yeah. That's really sweet. Isn't it?
And it is, and they were such lovely people, and they were so what's the word? Accepting.
Yeah.
Of what had happened,
of fate,
and they said to me, we've given her an amazing life.
Yeah.
They'd gone to Disney. She hadn't wanted for anything in her time, and they'd really put their whole lives into her while she was alive. And they kind of did that, like in death for her as well.
Yeah.
And that made it special.
Yeah, that's really sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And any weird?
Oh gosh.
What's
I could write a book, I think.
Yeah.
So here's a good one for you. How many phone calls do you think it took me to find someone who could embalm a cat?
I don't know. Embalm a cat?
Yes.
Wouldn't you just go to a taxidermist?
Oh no, apparently not. So I had a phone call from someone who said, you've really got to help us, I'm really worried. My friend's cat has died.
Yeah.
The cat is in the freezer right now.
Right.
My friend says she's going to take her own life unless the cat can be embalmed. And I said, well, what about taxidermists? I said, no, apparently not, because the cat needed to be intact. And I said, well, firstly, there's the thing that the cat isn't going to be intact if it's embalmed, because it's a fluid replacement.
Yeah.
So the cat won't be intact anyway. But I said, I will see if I can, you can obviously have that conversation. I'll see if I can find someone who can help you. So how many phone calls do you think it took me?
Knowing you, one.
It was one.
I was going to say,
It was
sorry,
one.
I know you too well.
Yeah, I
even though I don't really know you
So
that
I
well.
rang the pet
Yeah.
crematorium, and they said, "We know this lady. Phone them."
So she'd done this before, had she?
Yeah, she embalmed animals, pets and animals all the time.
Oh no, I mean the lady who.
Oh, no.
Okay, they know this
Yeah.
lady. I thought you meant they know the lady who
The cat
had
lady.
the cat.
Yeah,
in,
no.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're at your
Grandparents'
house.
Yeah. So
it's
this
a lovely house.
It is. It didn't look like this, I can assure you. It's very posh now. This used to be, so this is the main body of the house, and I
Yeah.
think that is structurally probably the same.
Same.
None of this front bit, which
Just
looks
like
like a
It's like
an office or a sauna. Yeah, none of that was
gym,
there.
It could be an office. Yeah,
it had an outside loo.
Right.
So my grandparents brought up 7 children in this little house.
What? Yes. Yeah.
And they had come from Wales for here with my granddad's job. So it used to be called Cartref, which means home in Welsh.
Oh.
It's not anymore, it's called something different now. But so it got very unsuitable, obviously. And I think the railway probably bought my grandma a bungalow.
So that looks like it's been extended.
Yeah,
that extension
absolutely.
wouldn't have been there.
So I think this is the main body of the house. I think I've got a photo at home of my dad and his family outside.
Yeah.
And I think that main part is the family house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because there was an outside loo out the back.
Yeah. It's got quite a lot of ground as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Well, obviously he had to be near to the railway. I guess there must have once been a signal box.
Right.
Which I don't think there is anymore. Or perhaps he had to put the barriers down manually. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really.
Was he the only one that did that job?
Yeah, as far as I know, my grandma didn't work at all. So.
Right.
And here, yeah. Well, there's no other houses around here at all, aren't there? That house that's at the end of the lane wasn't there.
Right.
So obviously it was in the middle of nowhere.
There's nothing.
The thing is, they hadn't. I mean, my dad always used to. I don't know. My dad was a dreadful exaggerator, so it's hard to know. But my dad used to tell stories about having to catch rabbits for supper.
I can believe that.
And so they had to walk to school. So where the new church is, that's the little village, and there was a school there. So they had to obviously walk down the lane.
Wow.
But my dad was the youngest, so by that time I think he had one younger sister. But some of his brothers, I think, had actually left home by the time he was at school, because obviously this is a long time ago. So my dad was born in 1937.
I was going to say, so was he born in this house?
I think his birth certificate says Lewes, so maybe.
Okay.
Somewhere in this area. They definitely lived here by the time that he came along.
Do you want me to take a picture of it with the house?
You can
stand
do.
next to the letterbox. That's really cool.
Yeah, it is. I remember.
So you never went inside that house?
Yes, yeah. But I don't really remember it because I was very, very young. So I know I've been here.
Yeah.
And I don't really remember my grandma. I just remember someone very old, and she was Welsh and grumpy, and that's really all I remember. But I mean, I know things. So she did a lot of knitting. So I'm a knitter, funny enough. And my grandma apparently had in her head a pattern for socks for every member of the family.
Okay.
So that's 9 people that she could sit up and make socks for.
That's amazing.
And in my head she had a rocking chair, but that may just be one of those things that you develop over time. I don't know.
That's a cool memory to have, though, isn't it? Rocking chair. Okay.
But no, it was very my dad's family was a very fraught family, as was my mum's. So
yeah,
I think a lot of people who know a lot about their families, you get some people who are a very close family, don't you, and who see each other all the time and this, that and the other, and we weren't like that at all.
Right.
So as I said earlier, my dad wasn't talking to his dad when he died, and I don't actually know if my dad went to his dad's funeral.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, it was all
families are
very fraught. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even ever meet a couple of my dad's siblings, I don't think.
Yeah. Okay.
Very fraught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, back to funeral directing.
Yes.
Do you believe in an afterlife?
I don't know. So, I think the thing is, a dead person doesn't look the same as a person who is sleeping who you can't see moving.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that must mean that there is a part of you that goes when you die.
Yeah.
But I don't think I really... So I've gone through quite religious phases in my life. I used to go to church, but I don't anymore. I don't think I really necessarily believe in anything sort of... I think like a lot of us these days, I'm a bit of a mishmash really. I think it's nice to think about an afterlife.
Yeah.
And I think faith brings people a lot of comfort.
Sure.
And I think quite often I feel quite jealous of people who feel like that because, for example, I arranged a funeral recently for people who were Plymouth Brethren, and they've got a very strong belief in a traditional Christian afterlife.
Yep.
And they were literally not upset at all, not in a bad way, not in a way that you would criticise, but because they firmly believed that Mum was in a better place.
Sure.
And Mum had been reunited with their late father and with the other members of the family who had died.
Yeah.
And Mum had been a good pious woman and was now being rewarded.
Yeah.
And I mean, being able to have that outlook.
Yeah.
Like, how lovely.
Yeah, it is. There's something nice about that.
But I don't know. I mean, I do believe things like, you know, the idea of karma a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I do think that, you know, good people tend to get good stuff and bad people tend to not in the end.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think unfortunately I'm a bit too cynical to just purely believe in something. I'm not really a faith type. The whole point of faith is there's no evidence, isn't there?
Well, this is it.
And that's not the type of person that I am. I'm very much need to see it to believe it type person.
Have you seen anything? I mean, with being around, have you seen anything that you can't explain?
Not really. I mean, I've been in places that I've been told have been haunted.
Right.
And I mean, I work in a very old building as well. You know, I work in a building that is from the 1830s, and someone has died on the premises at work.
Right.
Someone before my time, bless him, was fixing his car and just died underneath his car.
Well, it's a good place to die.
Well,
really,
I mean, convenient. You don't have a long journey. But no, not really, as I say. But I mean, people do look different. You know, I had a friend, my friend Jo, and she used to sleep with one hand on her mouth.
Okay.
And she was so still that she looked like a doll.
Right.
But she didn't look like a dead person. Do you see
Sure.
what I mean?
Yeah, no, totally. Well,
weird,
totally.
isn't it?
Well, I saw John Gielgud do a play, Father and Sons or something like that. I can't remember what it was called. But the very last thing, he's got two sons who are constantly arguing about him. And the very last scene, he's sat in a wheelchair downstage centre, and the two sons are behind him and is arguing. And as they argue, he dies.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The character dies.
Yeah.
And no word of a lie, he died.
Yeah, it is amazing if you can do it. It's very hard. Have you ever had to play a dead person?
Yeah. Well, you know, murder mystery.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. But apart from that, I mean, in a play.
In a play, in a
proper
proper
thing. So the play
thing.
I've just been in,
yeah.
I won't spoil it too much because there's like a lot of twists in it, but my character is dead.
Yeah.
So, for some of the time.
Right.
And it's very hard on stage being dead.
Yeah. Well, it was like what you just mentioned. It was as if his soul left the body.
Yeah, it is
weird. And I sat and watched him, and I was like, "Oh my word, he has actually died."
It is weird.
So I get that.
I mean, I suppose when I think about it, I always say it's really strange because I'd been working in funerals for several years when my dad died, but it was only really when my dad died that I realised that someone dying means that you're never going to see them again.
Yeah.
And if I believed in an afterlife, I would think. So, because I feel like that, the extension must be that I don't.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
Totally. I'm totally with you on that one.
Yeah.
It's that finality, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think it's a random thing, you know, funny enough, my friend Jo, who is the one who slept with a hand over her mouth, she died a couple of years ago. And it was devastating. Just the thought of never seeing her again was devastating.
Sure.
And the thing is, I think that's what people don't maybe understand about my job.
Yeah.
You can still be bereaved.
Yeah.
You can still be really sad when someone dies.
Yeah.
You know, you don't become accustomed to death.
No.
You just become accustomed to helping other people when they're bereaved.
So they get through that.
Yeah, which is a completely different thing.
Yeah. What would be in this world where we spoke about it before we switched on the recording. It's not very British to talk about these type of things.
No, not at all.
So what would you be your Abby's top tips to talking about death, getting ready for death? Funerals. What would be those top three things?
I think planning. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, expressing to people what it is that you want, and if you don't want anything, helping them to understand why. So, because what you want might not be possible, it might not be practical, it might not be allowed at the time. Like in COVID, a lot of people wanted things that they weren't allowed to have.
Sure.
But if someone understands, for example, let's say I want a brass band at my funeral.
Yeah.
You just think, right, well, I can either get you a brass band or I can't.
Yeah.
But if I say to you, I want a brass band because when I was a kid, in summer, there was always a brass band on the village green, and that's one of my favourite early memories.
Right.
Well then, if you can't give me a brass band, you can play brass band music.
Yeah.
And you kind of...
Yeah.
So that's the first thing.
Yeah.
Just not being afraid to sort of talk about it in general. I mean, I think people have this idea that it's somehow bad luck.
Right,
but obviously I talk about death every day.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm still here, so there's that.
Yeah.
And I think like there's a lot of stuff about direct cremations now where people aren't having a funeral really.
Yeah.
And unlike a lot of funeral directors, so I think a lot of funeral directors are like, oh, they're dreadful this and I'm not like that. But what I think is that you have to understand what a funeral is for. Mm-hmm. And a funeral is for the people who cared about you or the people who cared about them to come together and acknowledge that a change has happened in life.
Yeah.
And I think people who think, oh, it's just a fuss, you know, oh, this, that and the other, you know, you don't have to spend loads of money. Have a direct cremation and then have a picnic after, you know, go to the pub and have a pint. Yeah. You don't have to do something like formal. I think people are increasingly against formal stuff.
Yeah, okay, I'm in the sun.
And I really understand why that is. Because I don't like formal stuff either, although I do a very formal job.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that that's what you have to have. And if you've said to people, you know, I want something celebratory, I want to have a laugh. Like I've done a funeral where people did the time warp in the crematorium chapel.
Brilliant.
Why not though?
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
I've done funerals where people sang along to Bring Me Sunshine, and I've done funerals where everyone was in football shirts.
Brilliant.
We had one the other day where the coffin was like a cigarette because the man was always smoking.
Fantastic. That's brilliant.
But the thing is, you can do those things. You just got to be like, I was going to say brave, but that's not the right word. Well, in a way it is brave because people have got such rigid expectations.
Exactly, yeah.
And you've just got to be brave enough to defy expectations, I think.
Just to go for it.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a really good place to end it. But thank you so much, first of all.
You're welcome.
It's absolutely fascinating. We could probably walk for hours. But after all of that, if they want to find you, reach out to you, find you doing your acting, if they want to reach out to the funeral home, how do they find you?
Well, so I work for a company called Freeman Brothers, which you can find just by Googling freemanbrothers.co.uk. You can see a lovely, quite corporate picture of me on the website in the About the Team section.
Oh, we didn't talk about your regalia.
Oh, no, I'm not in my regalia for that.
Okay.
I'm just in my everyday office wear, but I have particularly spectacular hair that day.
Right. Well, let's quickly say about the regalia. Okay. What were you once?
So I was once president of the National Association of Funeral Directors, youngest ever woman president of the NAFD, which is the UK's foremost trade association. So I was basically the UK funeral director for a year.
Amazing. That is brilliant.
Yeah,
so you do know what you're talking about.
I actually do know what I'm talking about, confusingly.
Okay, so that's where they find you for funerals.
And so for everything else, I'm on Instagram as Abi Pattenden _ But I follow your podcast on there, so people obviously can clearly follow you. Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. And you can see me posting memes about how frustrating auditions are and you know
how you play a dead person.
And how I play a dead person. And when actors who I like a lot have died.
Right, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, who was the most recent?
Oh, Prunella Scales. I loved her. I loved Fawlty Towers.
What?
And I think she's one of the first women that I remember in an acting comedy role, not a comedian, but a comedy actor.
Yeah, totally.
And it's such an amazing character.
Played it so straight.
So good, yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Well,
and excellent
on that
clothes
note,
as well.
We will leave that. Thank you, Abi.
Pleasure.
Thank you. A huge thank you to Abi. It was absolutely lovely walking around that area. If you're in the area of Lewes, go and have a look. And if you're in that area at bonfire time, well, you're in for a treat. Just Google it. Have a look. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you to Abi. Check her out. She's on social media. You can go to Freeman Brothers website. You'll see her lovely photograph there. It was an absolute joy to get to know a little bit more about her and a little bit more about death. I found that fascinating. Please make sure that you are subscribed or following this podcast, then you won't miss out on anything. Once again, thank you for listening, keep listening, and buen camino.